Another roguelike, and it's still a bad habit of mine to type it R-O-U-G-E and not R-O-G-U-E. Ah yes, players, come enjoy this new Roguelike game. I'm sure you will enjoy it. It has all the common traits of a roguelike, and something new to the roguelike genre. Who let me have a computer? Who thought it was a good idea for me to write? Welcome back to another video here on Mummified Games. I'm Tony, and today we're going to be talking about the roguelike game MidBoss, a great game that helps remind me why roguelikes can be frustrating, but still rewarding. MidBoss was developed by Aniko, creator behind such games as Ultra Hat Dimension, Lore Finder, Super Bernie World, and most recently, Kitsune Tales. I'm sure that I'll be getting to Super Bernie World fairly soon. MidBoss is a game where you play as an imp, who is stuck as a small peon in this dungeon run by a video game bad guy. It starts off with this skeleton making fun of you because you're weaker than a rat, and this causes your companion Mid to convince you to ditch the rules and just go become a hero of the game, and thus starts you off on a mission to start killing all the enemies in this game and becoming your own boss. The fun thing that makes this different from your average dungeon crawler is that in this game, you can go around possessing other enemies you encounter, gaining new abilities. There are tons of creatures you can run into in this game, and slowly making your way possessing and learning new abilities they might have. The game starts you off by taking over a rat and learning the 3 or so abilities that a rat knows. You need to possess them, beat it in a battle, and then go around fighting as the rat, and slowly you unlock the rat's skills. Simple things such as poison, an activated attack ability, scurry, something that lets you run away quickly from a foe, and then other passive abilities that increase your sneak and other stats. This game itches that Diablo sort of itch, similar to what Torchlight does along with other dungeon crawlers. You have a limited inventory and you start picking up items of different levels of rarity and stat strengths. The store page says that there are 7 different types of weapons, robes and armors, books and trinkets, spell books, potions that randomly do different things. What's funny in this game is that there are some potions that change the retro look of the game. Some change the screen to look like an old CMYK screen or an Apple II with hundreds of colors instead. Yikes. There were some games that I've played that had a similar trick. The first one that comes to mind is Downwell by Devolver Digital. You can change the color style to different looks instead of just the default black, red, and white. Always a nice touch when it comes to games. So you're going around breaking boxes and picking up new items, replacing the old ones, and building up your stats. Increasing those stats means different things. Strength increases physical damage. Sorcery increases magical damage. Perception increases critical chance and minimum damage. Affliction increases condition strength. Toughness increases physical defense. Resistance increases magical defense. Constitution increases hit points. Endurance increases stamina. Spirit increases magic points. Speed determines how often you get turns. Damage depends on your weapon bonuses and has a minimum and maximum value. Critical, chance to store a critical hit. Accuracy, chance to strike an opponent with 0% evasion. Evasion, chance to evade an opponent's attacks. Stealth, chance to avoid detection by hostile enemies at the start of their turn by subtracting your score from their detection rate. If this is a negative number, you are easier to spot. Damage reduction, both physical and magical. 2 separate stats. Damage reduction reduces incoming damage by the percentage displayed after either toughness for physical damage or resistance for magical damage is subtracted from the damage but before any other modifiers. And every time you level up, you gain 3 points to feed into your main 4 attributes. Violence, which is linked to magical and physical maximum damage. Cruelty, which is linked to criticals, minimum damage, and condition strength. Adamancy, linked to defense against physical and magical attacks. And relentlessness, linked to health points, mana, and stamina. So people who love getting down and dirty in the different stat manipulation of these games can really go buck wild. There are a ton of things to fiddle with. So as I said, the game starts you off in a room with a single rat, and you can take over the body and move on to clearing out everything else on this floor. This first floor is always in a counterclockwise rotation, meaning after you leave the first room, take your first right turn and go north, and clear out a room of gold, ignoring any enemies that might be in this room. Rats are super passive and don't start attacking you until you attack them. Move through the level, breaking everything and gathering all the items that might be in boxes, coat racks, weapon racks, or armor stands. Getting all the way to the end of this floor, talk to the merchant that you're going to be selling and buying from in this game. They'll tell you that they only accept yarn and fish as payments, and then they'll disappear to the level below you. At this point, I recommend you look through all the items you picked up and equip the best things you have. Now that you have the best items from this level, you can go back and fight all the rats, learning all the skills that the rat form you're currently possessed can give you. Making sure you have all the eBay items on... Wait, that's not right. Stupid fingers. No, making sure you have the best items on this floor before you fight someone is the best way to quickly beat your enemies and save what little hit points you have. This game is super not forgiving in the health department. Right off the bat, the game gives you only 10 hit points, and each of these rats can hit you for 1. And if you go on fighting everyone before equipping your best items, you might be stuck in a trade of 1-for-1 damage. That's why it's important to make sure you have the best items before getting into any of the fights. You might be able to hit for more, ending the fight quickly, or dodge some of these attacks so you can last longer in the game, especially if you're playing in the traditional hardcore mode, where you only have 1 life, and if you die, you start all over again. There's an interesting mechanic where you have these death cards that if you die, you can have a card and take them with you into the next life you play. Very cool mechanic. If you find a really rare item or armor that just rules, then you can bring it along at the start of the next game. Overall, I think a best strategy for this game is to keep breaking all the boxes, first running from fights and avoiding combat at all cost, until you can find all the items in the level. Go to the shop, sell all your common items, and then, if needed, purify all your cursed items, and then identify everything you can. Oh, here's a good tip. Use the shop to identify your items for you. Save all your scrolls of identify to figure out what the heck each potion means. There are a whack ton of potions in this game. If I had to guess, somewhere between 10 and 15. All of these have different labels on them, which mean different things. And they all start off just saying bottled potion, right click or double click to use, and that's it. First time I saw one, I thought to myself, oh, a potion. Must be a generic potion that heals you for some amount of life. If it did anything bad, it would tell me it's bad, like potion of strangling gas. Nope, none of them are labeled. So you might go to drink a potion thinking that it will heal you, but it turns out it's actually a poison potion, and you just took 3 points of damage. Kill me. No, literally, that's it. All over. Start the game again. Use your potions cautiously, because it could bite you in the end. After everything is cleared out, start off by killing all the weaker enemies. Rats, regular bats, and then the special bats. This will help you work on tougher enemies when you're a higher level and have more points to add to your stats. After a while, your rat form will finish learning all it can, and you have mastered it. I suggest possessing a regular bat next, and gaining some skills that way. Moving through the basic enemies should be no problem, and after that you can start thinking of fighting tougher ones. Go after the zombie that's on the second level. What's great about this is that they are super slow, so you get to do 2 things before they have a chance to do 1. They are super hardy though, so it will take a while for you to beat them. I recommend following a pattern of attack, then move. They move in closer. You hit them again, and move again. Keeping this distance from them will help you avoid taking damage and keeping out of range from their attacks, allowing you to get the upper hand. Keep an eye out for the next exit you're going to lead them to, and try to travel on the diagonal towards the door rather than in straight lines. They'll be able to attack you on the diagonal, so don't let them pin you against a wall. Always think of where you're going to lead them next. After that, you should have a good feeling of how combat works and how to play this game. So you can start moving into the more heavy people in this level. Always try to do most of your fighting in a possessed form, so you can maximize your learning of new skills. This game is another great game. I can't really find any nitpicks about it, or things that I don't like. The pixel art is nice. Sort of basic sprite movements where the characters don't really move or anything, except hop around and then bump into things. I'm not angry, it's simplistic. The one thing I have against this game is something that is inherent in the entire Roguelike game genre of having to do the same thing over and over again, slowly growing. This is only annoying if someone finds the fact that there's no growth outside of gameplay upsetting, and they need the RPG element of leveling up for the next run. There are no reincarnated stats that grow with every playthrough. There's not an unlock feature where, congrats, you can find this new special sword next time you play. And the card mechanic is frustrating because you can only bring 1 item over to the next playthrough. But that's only 1 item that you can bring. It's not as though you can bring a whole loadout over to the next life, slowly building a massive arsenal of best items and weapons. Eventually, you need to give up on 1 or 2 items that were really great in exchange for just bringing the one best item with. Sort of a bummer. And since you had to do the same thing over and over in the traditional manner of a roguelike, it's frustrating that I don't get to experience the story that much if I want to play it as true to the game's intention. They do have a 1-up mode that gives you extra lives and multiple chances, a narrative mode where you can keep dying and moving on in the game, but as I said, that isn't what the game was made for. I want to keep trying in the hardcore mode. Whenever I played Fire Emblem, I didn't want to play the game mode where if someone dies, they just get knocked out and comes back at the end of the mission. I played the full fat hardcore mode, and if someone died in a level, then it's time to save scum and go back to the start and do it all over again. Okay, it's not the truest hardcore mode, but still, I really should go back and work on those games. I loved Fates. MidBoss. I like it. I enjoyed playing the game, pushing harder and getting further and further in the game, but sometimes it just feels like it's keeping me down, man. That's about all I can say about this game. I like it. It's fun, different, it has an interesting art style. I like the concept of a minion breaking the mold and becoming the hero instead. The item management is solid. Getting to build your character and give them slowly better and better items is great for old school RPG players. And the roguelike mechanic is strong in this game, for better and for worse. That's it for this one. That's what, 3 roguelike games that I've talked about in a row? Man, I've got to play a romance novel or something. Anything to get me away from these roguelikes. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this game. If you played it, how'd you like it? Is there a game similar to this one? Or if there's another game you think I should try? I know it can be annoying if I keep making videos and I don't get to the one you want yet, but my recommendations are empty. Well, sort of. Change wants me to play Celeste, so maybe I can go do that one. I'll let you peek behind the curtain here. The games I've been reviewing this month so far have all been things that I loved playing and jamming with over the time I've been away from the channel. Obviously, the hours and hours I've played Odd Realm, Skyrogue, Mubase, MidBoss, Beacon, those were all hours over the last couple of months, not solely what I've experienced while playing these games for an hour before I write these reviews. Their review came from a place of spending a great deal of time with them. Anyway, that's enough of a peek for now. In the mean old time, I'm gonna go find out if I can possess or take over a beefy sandwich. I haven't had lunch yet. You all do the YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, bell icon, let your friends know about the show. This has been Mummified Games. I've been your host, Tony, and like I always say, friends, keep digging out from under your pile, and we'll make it out sometime. See you in the next one.